Hi, how are you? Hope everything is going well. I hope you're having the most amazing day so far. Thank you for joining me today for my first video I'm posting since the launch of my cosmetics. I'm so sorry I've not been keeping up to date with all the drama. I know there's been some stuff happening here and there with some hoodies and some other drama, but I've just been really tired. I feel like I've given birth. Like, I know I'm in no position to know what that feels like, but the past year has been really intense, and especially the past few months, and at the moment I just feel really exhausted, so I'm sorry if I'm not posting as much as usual. I'm honestly just really tired. I thought it'd be really fun to check back in with you and say hello and have a quick chit chat. I honestly had no idea my makeup would do so well. I literally had no idea it would do so well. Like, I literally had one person hide for customer service, and now I'm sat there like, okay, I better bring in a few more people. If you haven't seen them, these are the lip collections. You need to watch the launch video. But you get a full-size liquid lipstick, which is 6ml. You get one normal lip liner in the same shade, and then you also get an ombre lip liner, which again are both full size. And this whole thing, I had no idea everything would do so well. We've nearly sold out of the metallic crushed pigments. They're still available. They're shipping from Canada and from the USA. The lip collections were gone so quickly. I sent out the mailing list. Obviously, I've been building up a mailing list for about a year now, and you could have signed up for it, you know, like Cookie and Big announcement and Cookie and Small announcement, and the list is in 6 figures. Like, it's big, but I didn't think it would. I don't know, I just didn't think that people would care. I didn't think people would buy. Like, obviously this is my brand that I've invested in from the get-go, and it's not just me now. Like, there's other people involved, but it's all my money behind the brand, and it's loans and stuff like that. You know, it's my dream to do this, and I had to fund it myself, and I honestly just didn't think it would do so well. Like, I honestly didn't. Like, I just thought people would be like, oh, that's cute, but I'm not interested. Like, I didn't think people would be like, oh my god, I need that. Like, I don't know, it just made me really happy, so thank you. I thought it would be fun to go through some of the stuff. I know most of you probably don't care, but I saw a few internet rumours, and I thought, why not nail them in the bud, since I'm in a position where I can just show you everything. So the first rumour that was spread about the launch was that I was lying about the server overloading. I know that a lot of you had problems getting onto the server. Prior to it actually launching, we had an issue with the amount of traffic that was coming, even just with the landing page, because there's an image as the background, and the server has to send out that image to every single person that views the page. That's how it works. Like, the server that we host with sends that out, and it wasn't sending the image. So we changed the front page to reduce the load. We removed all the images, and we said server overload onto the front. We made that because we couldn't support the website because it wouldn't send out the images. So it's better to say it's overloaded and it's not working, which is true, as opposed to leave it up there and have things not display properly.
I have no makeup on. 40 minutes of worth of content down the fucking drain. And why? Because John Cookie's website has gone down. One would think. However, I don't know why this is just like, I am not making sense. I am not making sense at all.
Click Cookie in, server overload. What on earth is happening? What? And this is what you posted today?
20 hours ago. Beef.
I'm going to show you, and he's going to explain, okay? You following us? Yeah.
And down below you can see all the different pages he's got. He's got a contact page,
Yeah.
he's got an affiliate page.
Yeah.
There you go. There we have it. That's what happened. Oh my god. I'm living, I'm gagged, snatch.
I'm not even going to begin to explain how silly the whole concept of this is, that because you can see pages underneath the front page, it means that I'm lying about the server overloading. By server overload, it literally means the server can't send out the amount of images that I need it to send out. It won't give people the content that they're requesting from the page. So it's better for me to say it's overloaded, which is true because it can't produce the content because it's overloaded, than to leave it up there and have all of you come to the website and have things not display properly at all with none of the images loading. I live for conspiracy theories. I literally live for them. I literally do them every single day. My only issue with this conspiracy theory is on this person's literal Snapchat, like 6 snaps later, she literally sees that the server has actually overloaded. This person then goes on to accuse me of stealing a marketing image from Joffrey, which somehow amazingly disappeared really quickly with absolutely no receipts, again, which just seems ridiculous. Really? Stealing marketing images from Joffrey? But she would never post that on her YouTube, because of course she would only put on this tiny manipulation that will make her views. Like, she literally shows publicly that the server is actually crashed and it's overloaded and it's not working. But for some reason, there's still a video now on the internet that suggests that I was lying about that, which I don't believe in. The first one was that someone posted saying that they'd seen my tube and they could have bought it. They basically found a completely standard version of my tube like this, and they found it on the internet and said, well, I found your bespoke tube, it's obviously not that bespoke. And I'm sat there like, okay, well, this is that tube in one material straight from the factory, and then you have a similar tube in a different material, and then you have another tube very similar with my effects, and then another tube made out of a completely different material and a slightly different mold. And then we have the same tube with a completely different printing method, which I didn't approve of. And then we have my tube, eventually, towards the end. My point is basically that to manufacture one of these is quite simple. A basic tube in a basic material, that's not going to be that difficult for you. It's still going to be expensive because you have to literally make 10,000 to 12,000 minimum. First of all, the lid, the outer lid, and this tube are first of all made. I opened a new mold with this steel factory that manufactures a piece of solid steel that's inserted inside every single one of these liquid lipstick lids to weight them, so it's easy to apply and it feels 10 times more luxurious. That piece of steel is shipped to an injection molding factory where it's combined with the lid. The lid is injection molded with the steel, so it's solid and it's completely compact. That's what gives it this really solid feel, so when you hold it you can tell there's no air, it's literally solid. From then, that entire thing is then shipped to another factory, which creates this massive, this gorgeous matted effect, which goes down the tube. That's not done by the factory that creates the steel, it's not done by the factory that creates the injection mold. That's done by a completely different factory that specialises in spraying things, basically. Once that's happened, it then goes to another factory which specialises in silkscreen, it specialises in printing. So then my logo is printed beautifully across all of these. I've already spoken you through. Obviously, like, see, for example, this is a slightly different tube with a slightly different technique. Like this, for example, this is a different tube and it's an ugly tube, I hate it. You can see it's a completely different style of tube. This one, for example, has the hot stamp technique, which is what most brands use. It's really inexpensive and it's really easy, but it just means it doesn't look as sharp. Whereas I went with silkscreen, which is a lot more expensive and it's incredibly bespoke. It gives you this really crisp, gorgeous logo. It's like having a car. Would you write on a car like the Mercedes badge, or would you have like a solid steel Mercedes badge on the front of the car? That's what the logo is to Cookie and Honest Liquid Lipsticks. So you can see it's obviously not cheap to open a brand new steel mold. In terms of my tube, for example, whose tube is this? Is this Revlon or is it Marc Jacobs? Whose tube is this? Because I've seen 101 different indie brands using this tube. That's just manufacturing. That's how things work. You always have a mold. There's 101 different molds out there. They're all made to open a new mold. To open a new mold literally costs thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. It's really expensive and there's already so many molds out there. That's why everyone has, that you do get brands that have similar molds, like NARS, for example. Is this NARS or is it another brand? Do you know what I mean? Like you never know. That's why you have so many similar tubes, you know? The first version of my tube I actually saw was this, and you can obviously see there's a slight difference. So you need to have the creativity and the drive to meticulously go over the same design, to try and change the material, to see if the mold is compatible with these superior plastics, to go through and see if you can change the colour of things, to try these smoky effects, see if it will silkscreen, see if you can gloss, because this tube is glossed when it's made and then it's matted, so it's extra shiny here, it's gorgeous and it's smooth, and then it's really, really matted here. The attention to detail on these tubes is ridiculous, and when you hold them and you feel them, you'll understand why. So that was one thing that I saw. Someone managed to find a factory that had the same mold that I use, and they were like, oh, you call it bespoke? And I'm like, yes, I do, because it literally cost me a ridiculous amount of money to open new steel molds, to go through different factories that had similar molds, first of all, that had very, very similar molds that just weren't right, that they couldn't produce to what I needed, to arrive at this kind of conclusion where it looks so beautiful. It's not easy and it takes a lot of time. Like, to have things so well fitted, to have these effects so gorgeous isn't easy. You see the final result, you don't see the 100 failures behind that. But you did hear me talk about them on Snapchat. The next query that I had was my metallic crushed pigments. These are my metallic crushed pigments. They come in 3 shades and they also do include a brush. I saw a few people ask, why have you included a sponge brush instead of like an actual proper brush? Why would you do that? Why are you saving costs? It doesn't save any cost for me to include a sponge brush over a brush that has like bristles, for example. It doesn't make a difference for me manufacturing. It's the same price. I'm still getting it made. It's the setup cost that's really the most. I've used these pigments for a really long time. If you've ever worked with pigments, you will know they really thrive with these applicators. So if you do already have your other brushes, I'm sure you can use them. These pigments don't pick up well with stiff synthetic brushes. I'll say that now. That's not what they're made to work with. They're made to work with these sorts of applicators and the softer brushes. But that's why I included it. It's not a case of, oh, as if you included that, you need to change it. If you want me to change it, if you're not happy with these applicators, once you've tried the product, I will absolutely take your feedback on board and I'll absolutely look to change them in the future. But for now, I really want you to try it with this applicator because that's what I've tested it with 100,000 different brushes, and these are the ones that I've been really happy with and the ones that they've really thrived with. You can literally create a winged liner with this brush and these pigments. Imagine how gorgeous that would look. Another thing, someone found a website that was selling 150 different pigments, different eyeshadows, and they managed to find a trio of 3 shades that look similar to mine. Could you imagine, in a world of 7 billion people, finding a company that sells 3 eyeshadows of a similar colour to mine? Could you imagine? I honestly didn't think it would be a possibility. They weren't the same colour though. It was an orange, a red and a purple. Mine is obviously an orange, a brown burgundy shade and a purple. And they were selling it in a black enclosure. Mine obviously in clamshells. And they were saying, you've private labelled, you private labelled. This kind of formula, like if it was easy to create this kind of formula, you would have it in every palette. Every single naked palette would have a shadow with this formula. If you want to buy pigments from a different brand, that's not going to bother me. This is Cookie and this is the Cooking collection. If you want to try the Cooking collection, you can do. If these are private labelled from a company that sells them in a solid black enclosure, surely I would have put my name on a solid black enclosure and sold them with solid packaging instead of manufacturing a ridiculous number of these clamshells and then remanufacturing them because there was an issue and then remanufacturing them again because there was another issue. So I contacted my manufacturer and asked them, is this brand anything to do with your company? Because I'm obviously would be a bit pissed off if that was the case, but obviously it turns out that it's not. I contacted my manufacturer. It turns out that this is a China brand. They're not cruelty free. I'm based in the UK. All of my makeup is in the process of being made available in the UK. You can't physically sell makeup in the UK without passing paperwork that shows that it's been tested by non-animal means. It's physically illegal to sell makeup into the UK that's been tested on animals. It's the law. So obviously I'm not going to sell something that has been tested on animals. All of my makeup has to have the relevant paperwork for the testings to show that it's been done in non-animal methods. To confirm and to conclude, the only similarity between those shadows that people have been circulating around the internet and my shadows is a slight similarity in colours. There's literally no other difference. You can check the ingredients list on the website compared to theirs. You will see it's completely different. If you are trying to come up on Instagram and you're trying to make a living from Instagram as a photographer or a makeup artist, you will know how hard it is to get a break, how hard it is to get paid work. Everyone is expecting you to work for free, whether it's a sponsorship, collaboration, anything like that. I want it to be different because I know exactly what it's like to be in that position where you have a service to offer and people expect you to work for free. I know what it's like to have rent to pay. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's fair to do that. And I commissioned a photographer to create our artwork. It wasn't a massively crazy big Instagram photographer. It was a girl that I saw a lot of potential in. I adored her work, and even though her Instagram isn't a massive following, it didn't matter to me because I could see the potential of what she could create with my brand. I saw her imagery lining with mine. One of the rumours getting spread is that I've apparently stolen her artwork. The truth is, I've actually sent her hundreds of dollars worth of makeup direct to her, along with snacks, along with food, and I've physically paid her in cold, hard cash for the rights to all the images that Cookie is using for its marketing. Everything is done completely kosher, which is why I'm so confident in sitting here and showing you all this information. When you work with Cookie, you're working with a family, whether it's the people that are working with my PR, my moderators, my photographers, they are all like family to me. We all know each other, we all talk, and we all look out for each other. It's never like a cold-hearted business relationship because I feel like for my company to succeed, I want to have a really close, tightly knit network of people that can work together and can enrich each other, and we can create a synergy to build this brand bigger and stronger, and it's built on that foundation. When I was manufacturing these boxes, I went through 101 different types of samples. I think I went through 20 different final designs for the actual box that were all prototyped. I literally have them printed. But this box, for example, didn't just arrive with this gorgeous matted finish with the gloss accents. We had 101 different samples that we went through. You can see this one is glossy. We actually went through 4 different compounds for matte lamination on these boxes. If you just sold it like normal card, it would be cheaper and it would be easier, but I didn't want that rough texture. I wanted something really soft and something that felt really special. So with this box, we tried 3 different compounds. We ended up going to Japan to a company that specializes in compounds for laminating, and we ended up trying different compounds from them, and we ended up importing a compound used for matte lamination over to the factory that was making the actual packaging. But when this arrives and you physically touch it and you feel the texture, you'll be like, oh my god, it feels like rubber. Like, it's literally gorgeous. And obviously, like, it's not just all matted. Like, this is all gloss. The logo is gloss. You can see here this is reflecting the light. You can see how much attention to detail has gone into this packaging. It's the same thing for the back. It's all reflective where it needs to be. And obviously this pulls open from the side, so you can see the entire collection inside. The same thing goes with the back. The attention to detail is ridiculous. When you open it, you still get the logo there, and you still get the logo there, but you don't get it there. So it's kind of like you still get to see it as the box is open. And if you ever just had this by itself, you'll be able to see the brand, but it's not too in your face because I'm not trying to be noisy with this. I saw another person saying that I'd made a spelling mistake on my website using the word oxfoliate with an O, but this person kindly left out the fact that in brackets after this word I literally stated what I meant by that. Oxfoliating is something that I've always done with my lips. It's when you exfoliate using an emollient. So you use a moisturizer instead of water. So you dampen a towel in water, but as you're rubbing the dead skin off your lips, you use a moisturizer, and it enriches the lips so much that when you put any lip product over the top, it will apply so smoothly and so gorgeously. That's where the word oxfoliate comes from. The actual inside of these, let me talk you through. Okay, so if I remove the lipstick, these are lined with artifact foam. This is the same foam that they use to transport precious goods out of Egypt. When they find artifacts, it's the exact same type of foam. You might say, why would you go so far as to do that? Why not? Why not? When you feel it, you'll realise it's not like a soft, squishy, cheap, inferior foam. It's a really stiff artifact foam that is designed to keep everything so safe and so held together in transit. It's really absolutely stunning. But of course, I could not leave you with a bare foam finish. So over the top of that, I have this gorgeous matte laminated card with the same kind of lamination that we used on the actual box. And then on top of that, we have this gorgeous shiny printing method where you can see it's reflecting the light. And this will tell you it's a long wear matte, it's the Mimi lip liner, and it's the ombre lip liner. Even the material used on the little pulley thing was chosen from 3 different samples. So it's kind of silky, but it's still firm. It's not like it's going to rip. I thought this would be an interesting video to just talk you through some of the products, and I thought it's good, it's funny, it's cool. I talk about people's brands all the time when we investigate them, and it's interesting to see people do it to my brand. I respect that, but at the same time, everything that I've seen hasn't been accurate. Everything I've seen has been, like, to be honest with you, just a bit stupid. Like, I don't think it's my followers, 'cause I think you watch me enough to know what is and what isn't credible, but I've kind of seen people, they'll go to a brand that has like 300 lipsticks, and they'll be like, that shade looks similar to this shade, they must have copied, and it's like, it's a red. It's a cherry red. But anyway, that is everything for that. If you do want to get your hands on the lip collections, you can reserve these for January. We're completely sold out for December. I had no idea they would do so well. I honestly had no idea. I was sat there. We thought we'd set the numbers up wrong in terms of how much stock we had. That's why I thought, oh, we've sold out, really quickly. We've obviously just not sold out. We've obviously made a mistake with the inventory, but it wasn't the case. The shipment for these is arriving at the end of December. It should be shipped in January. I said late January on the website to be safe, but realistically, it should be shipped towards the start to the middle of January, but I have said late January just to be safe. The second batch of these is due in at the end of December. You can reserve them now because I know that some of you really wanted to get your hands on them. Once all of these are reserved for January, they're going to be completely gone, and that's going to be January stock over. So when it comes to January, there might not be any stock left. As for the actual pigments, these are still in stock in the US and in Canada. These are the metallic crush pigment which you saw on the video. I'm also doing a giveaway on Instagram. I'm giving away the entire Mayfair collection on Instagram. Bear in mind this is out of stock until January, but I do have some reserved that I can send to you. All you need to do to be in with a chance of winning the Mayfair collection is follow Cookian on Instagram, tag a friend in the last photo, and both follow. That's all you need to do to enter. No reposting, no nothing like that. The winner will be picked really soon. You can comment on any of the posts, but I would say do it on the most recent one. It's just easier because then it's spaced out. And then winners will be announced really soon. If you don't win the Mayfair competition, on my personal Instagram, John Cookian, and on Cookian Instagram, the company Cookian Instagram, I'm always going to be doing little giveaways to show you the products and give you a chance to win them. So definitely follow if you want to be in with a chance to win them. Dirty Money is a gorgeous green shade that I came out with. I had no idea the controversy this shade would make, and I'm discontinuing it. I had absolutely no idea in my mind. There was another person that had a shade called Dirty Money that was also a green. Dirty Money is a really, really popular phrase in rap music, which is what I listen to. You've heard me in my car singing along to Nicki Minaj all the time. I don't follow other people's collections unless I really respect them and I really like them. There's certain people that I would keep an eye on, but in terms of people for scandals, if someone has 101 different shades of liquid lipstick, I don't keep up with them. It was kind of funny because people were saying, oh my god, you're so shady. And I was like, no, like I am, but not in that respect. Like, add to this that I've tried this liquid lipstick on at least 6 of my friends during the process of bringing them out and trying them. Not a single one of them has ever said that they've heard that before. They've all said that they love the name. Not a single person has ever said to me, well, I know another brand that has that name. You shouldn't do that. No one knows about this other brand in England, and I certainly didn't know about it. And I think you can see how gorgeous these collections are, and you can see how reasonably priced they are. I don't need to be shady and do anything like that in order to sell them. It's honestly a no. If you bought the Dirty Money collection for December, it's still going to be shipped to you now. If you reserve the Dirty Money collection for January, you will still get it in January, but this is no longer available. I'm scrapping all the stock for Dirty Money. I'm not selling it. To be honest with you, I think the shade is gorgeous. It was not inspired by anyone. It's different to anyone else's shade. All of these started off on canvas, as I've told you, the ombre lip liner, the Mimi lip liner, the liquid lipstick. And I did see people reaching. I saw someone, they compared my 5 shades to a brand that literally has like hundreds of shades, and he said, that red looks like that red, that green looks like that green, that orange looks like that peach. And I was sat there like, okay. Every single one of these products was made with so much love. There hasn't been a corner cut with any of them. They're made with the most expensive ingredients. Every single one of these shades is unique to me. I've handcrafted them myself with paint. You've seen me on a canvas create them. Dinner at 8. Hello? How you doing? Do you see what I mean? So I don't have any doubt in my mind about that. I don't really feel like I need to do anything to prove that. But I do want to just send a gesture of goodwill. The Dirty Money collection is discontinued. It's not happening. I think it's a gorgeous collection. Dirty Money to me is my own thing. It comes from me listening to rap music. That's where the word is used. Nicki uses it in every other word. Little Kim used to use it all the time in her lyrics as well. I completely understand that if someone has a shade that's similar and a name that's similar, even though I could sell it and there's no trademark, there's no infringement, there's no copyright or anything like that, I'm not comfortable with that, and so I am discontinuing the shade. I told you these were limited edition. You were all thinking, oh, it's going to be a few months, going to be a few years. How about a few days, bitch? Bitch. I know I'm not posting as much as usual. You can probably see, maybe you can't, maybe you can't. I'm really physically exhausted. This launch has really killed me, the amount of stress that it's been the past 5 months. I'm just going to be open with you and tell you, like, I could sit here and look pretty and say, I'm so happy with this, I'm so happy with this, but the truth is it's been exhausting for one person to manage this by themselves. So that is everything. This is the entire collection. That's what I've been working on for the past year. It's literally taken me so long to finalise and perfect everything. Everything available now is being shipped from Canada and the US. Come January, hopefully we're going to be on Australia as well. The only reason we haven't done Australia so far is because there's a physical delay with the warehouse being able to accept things. That's the only reason it's not in Australia right now. I've set the value of these to $14.99, which means they should pass through UK customs. I can't guarantee because I'm not in control of UK customs, but from my understanding, these shouldn't, from what I understand, receive any import duty because they are under the $15 threshold, or I think it's £15, which means I'm doing even better. But if you want to get these and they're being shipped from the US and Canada, hopefully they can just pass through customs. I will be selling the lip collections in the UK eventually, but it's very expensive for me to go through the paperwork to do that. Everything is peachy with the product. I've already confirmed it, but I physically have to pay someone a lot of money to basically confirm the paperwork and represent me. And so I need to wait a bit of time to do that until I'm in a position to do that. So it's not like I'm intentionally holding it from England, but if I don't physically have the funds to pay for that compliance, this entire brand is self-invested by me. This is my dream. This is all me. Like, this entire brand has been built by hand by me. Now there's obviously people managing different aspects because you deserve customer service, even though it's going to be a bit slow because we only have one person right now. I'm quickly trying to find someone else. Things have been crashing continuously since the launch. I don't know what we've messed up with one of the servers. We instantly got kicked off one of them that we were using because we were spread across multiple servers around the world to like loosen the load. I honestly was prepared for like 5,000 people online. I didn't think we would cross over the 10,000 mark, and we completely destroyed the internet basically. That's why things went so quickly. Yeah, that's everything. I'm sorry I'm not posting as much as usual. I'm really exhausted. I honestly need a hug. I feel like the past few months are really catching up with me. It's really been so hard to get this launch together. And if you have questions, that's fine. But please respect I'm literally one person. I can't have replied to literally thousands. Like, I think there's like 5,000 comments on the last video. I obviously want to reply to you and I want to answer your questions, but physically, in terms of me being a human being that has to eat, has to sleep, and has to manage the future of what's happening, it's really difficult for me to answer every single question. If you have any customer service inquiries, please don't tweet me, please don't comment, because I can't monitor from there. Email customer service and they will get back to you with your order number and all your details, and that should be everything. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you really soon. Bye.